Last week, we talked about why random training doesn't work, why effort without structure keeps people stuck. This week, we go deeper because the thing I hear most often isn't I'm not training, it's I'm training, but I can't shift the belly. There's a moment every former athlete experiences. You see a photo of yourself and you realize the body you had at 22 isn't there anymore. I saw a photo of a lad I used to play against recently. At 22, he was a machine, lean, fast, one of those lads who just looked like an athlete without even trying. In the photo now, same face, but the frame is gone. That typical midsection weight has just sort of tripped in. He messaged me last week, Paul, I'm still training, but I'm still going to the gym, but I just can't shift the gut. And the worst part, he thought it meant he lost discipline, but he hadn't. He was just trying to solve a 2026 problem with a 2006 playbook. I hear some version of this conversation every single week. Men and women, late 30s, early 40s, former athletes, still training, still putting in effort, but they're stuck. So today we're going to break down why the former athlete belly shows up, why it's not your metabolism's fault, at least not in the way people think, and the rebuild approach that actually fixes it. Everybody blames getting older. They say their metabolism died, slowed down, packed it in. Now, to be fair, metabolism does slow down slightly over time. After 30, if you're not actively strength training and eating enough protein, you will slowly lose muscle mass. Hormones shift a bit. That's real. But here's the part people misunderstand. The actual metabolic drop, maybe 100 to 200 calories a day across a decade, that's a slice of bread and butter. The real change is that your output collapsed. At 21, you are moving constantly. Club training 3 or 4 nights a week, matches at the weekend, walking everywhere. You're probably moving 15 hours a week without even thinking about it. Now, sitting at a desk for 9 hours, stressed about work, mortgage, kids, sleeping 6 hours, training maybe 3 hours a week if you're lucky. So you didn't lose 200 calories of metabolism, you lost 12 hours of weekly movement. That's thousands of calories of output gone. Food didn't change that much, the movement collapsed. That's not a medical problem, that's a maths problem. And here's where it gets worse. Most people in this situation don't train less hard, they train even harder. They think that I just need to push more, so they smash themselves 3 times a week, feel wrecked, eat poorly because they're exhausted, and then wonder why nothing is changing. I had a woman in here last year. She played camogie through her 20s, 2 kids now, still getting to the gym 3 mornings a week, working harder than most people in any commercial gym that you walk into, and she was stuck. Same belly, same frustration, because the effort was there, but the structure wasn't. And you cannot out-effort a broken structure. Now here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. At 22, your recovery capacity was enormous. You could train Tuesday, go out Saturday, sleep 5 hours, eat rubbish Sunday, and still feel fine on Monday morning. At 40, that same weekend, it doesn't just slow you down, it wipes out your entire training week. Your sleep quality is different, your stress load is higher, work, mortgage, kids, responsibilities. And when stress stays elevated, cortisol stays elevated. And when cortisol stays high, your body becomes more likely to store fat, particularly around the midsection. Now, cortisol isn't the whole story, it's the combination. Poor sleep, high stress, inconsistent training, under eating during the week, overeating on the weekend, they all compound. But the recovery gap is the part most people ignore. They train like they still recover like a 22-year-old. They don't. So if you're redlining every session on 5 hours sleep, you're not building fitness, you're accumulating fatigue. And this is exactly why you can't fix this with more effort. You need a structure that accounts for all of it. That belly, that's the scoreboard. If you're listening to this and recognizing yourself, you're training, you're putting in effort, but the belly won't shift. You're not the only one. Most people who message me about this have been stuck for years, some for decades. If that's you, DM me the word belly on Instagram. I'll ask you a couple of questions and tell you straight whether the 12-week rebuild is a fit for you or not. No pressure, just clarity. Right, let's keep going. Now, there's a pattern I see every single week in the gym, and I bet money most of you listening have done this. You have a big weekend, a couple of pints, takeaway. Maybe you skipped Friday's training. Grand, that's life. But then Monday comes around and you feel guilty. So what do? You skip breakfast, you do extra cardio, or go into the gym and absolutely hammer yourself to make up for it. I call this the Monday penance, and I see it wreck more progress than any bad weekend ever could. Because here's what actually happens. You restrict food Monday, your body is already under recovered from the weekend. Now you're under fueled and under recovered. You train hard anyway. By Wednesday, you feel terrible. Energy crashes. You're wrecked. Thursday, you eat whatever is easiest because you're just exhausted. Friday, you skip training. The weekend arrives again. Same cycle every week for years. The penance doesn't fix the weekend. It guarantees that the next one will be exactly the same. Every single person I've coached through this, everyone, the first thing is that we fix is Monday. Monday becomes a normal day. Imagine that. You eat normally, you train normally, you return to structure, no punishment, no compensation, just back on track. That one shift alone changes more than any extra gym session ever could. So what actually works? I give you the 3 principles, not the full framework, because the detail is what the coaching delivers. But I want you to understand why this is different from what you're doing now. First, protein. Most former athletes massively undereat protein. Your body needs it to maintain and build muscle. And muscle is what drives your metabolism long term. If protein is low, you slowly lose muscle, get lighter in the scales, but still carry the belly. We fix protein first. Second, structured strength training. Not circuits, not HIIT, not sweating just for the sake of it. Compound lifts, progressive overload, 3 sessions per week. This is what actually shifts body composition over 12 weeks. It looks boring on paper, but it works in practice. Third, programmed recovery. You cannot train flat out for 12 weeks straight. You need deload weeks built into the program, not because you're soft, because adaptation happens during recovery, not during the workout. That's the approach. Simple to understand, hard to do alone, which is exactly why most people need a coach and a system, not another plan they'll follow for just 3 weeks. Here's what I want you to take away from this. The belly isn't a charter flaw. It's not laziness. It's not a broken metabolism. It's the predictable result of training without a system that fits your current life. I run a 12-week strength rebuild private coaching, structured programming, weekly reviews, direct access to me as your coach. I cap intake because I coach each person directly. This isn't a challenge. It's not a downloadable plan. It's a proper coaching relationship. Our March intake is open now and numbers are limited. Most people who reach out about this have been stuck for years. If that's you, you're not behind. You just haven't had the right system yet. If you want to fix it, DM me the word belly on Instagram or apply at templetownsc.com. I'll review your application and we'll have a conversation. If it's a fit, I'll walk you through exactly how the rebuild works. If it's not, I'll tell you that too. Either way, stop blaming your metabolism. The maths is the problem. The system is the fix. You didn't break. The environment changed. Now the system needs to change too. Chat to you next week.